I show up and the dispenser's been ran over.
Yep, this is it.
This is the way it's going to end. I seem sweat during the day trying to chase that dirt.
Is it Friday yet?
I'm just here for the donuts. Okay, this is Fuelish Behaviors. I'm Adam Thompson. Today's guest is Jerry Thompson. He is the...
Do whatever you need me to do.
Do whatever. That's kind of the MO for everybody is what else can we do? And so he has taken a lot off my plate, and the stress level, I think...
It's a roller coaster.
Beyond, I think roller coaster is the joy of it.
Every day's a Monday.
The tornado of the office. There's so much. So with that, today's episodes, we're going to talk more so about just running the business day to day. We'll go through all the kind of stuff with running the office and managing, I guess, technicians.
Trucks.
Oh, yeah. Managing the trucks.
Equipment. Yeah.
Missing tools. All the stuff that just day-to-day operations that we look at each other and like, how did that happen?
All the cogs in the wheel.
There it is. And then we want to talk about some wrecks. I think with Steven on our episode, we talked about some wrecks that you were part of.
I've unfortunately had my fair share.
Yes. Yes. And I think in that episode I said most of them were not your fault. It was just bad timing, bad being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Only one I'll say was definitely my fault.
And then I guess the final part, we'll talk about our vendors. I think that's part of number one of running the business.
Yep.
But that deserves a whole segment on its own. So we'll jump right into this one. The first segment title is called Management Madness. I think that's a very appropriate name for when you talk about management at all.
Yeah, like I said, every day's a Monday.
Oh,
It's just
terrible.
about.
And when you have your Mondays, you're looking forward to the rest of the week. And then Tuesday comes and it's like, okay, we still got the rest of the week.
Yeah, this day's going to get smoother.
Yeah.
No, here we go again.
And then Wednesday happens and we're like, we're almost to the weekend.
Is it Friday yet?
Yeah. So I guess, when you start talking about every day's a Monday, now we're pre-Friday is what we're really looking forward to.
Generally, getting the day started is the hardest part. Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah.
There's always a wrench to be thrown in the...
Yeah. Well, Steven even said it when I come in the office and there's 5 guys standing around me waiting to...
Yep.
And it's just, it's frustrating for everybody.
Why do we have 5 guys standing around?
We got to jump on it. Let's get them scheduled. All right. So the first segment, and I never know what to call these. I call them sub-segments and titles and just a part of this segment. But this one's going to call the statement carousel. This is when you're talking to a 4-year-old and they're like, what? And you're like, don't do that. And they go and do it anyways. And you're like, I said, don't do that. And they do it again. And you said, I said, don't do that. And it's just going round and round and round of the don't do that. Or I said this, or I said that. So what is your most memorable carousel? What is something you catch yourself saying all the time?
Man, that would probably have to be, where's your notes?
Where's your notes? Yep. So after they do their job, they have to go in and they have to type their notes in of what all they found. This job is done, but we couldn't do X, Y, and Z, or everything was done, but we found this issue and that issue that didn't affect us, but they should get it fixed.
Thank you for putting down your note. I just wish I understood it.
Yeah, the handwriting. Handwriting.
Just the lack of detail.
Oh, yeah, that too. Pump 4 won't dispense fuel. Why not?
Couldn't calibrate.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Couldn't calibrate. Why? There's no power at the pump.
This customer's asking why you couldn't do it. What's going on?
I show up and the dispenser's been ran over.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to clarify that, yeah, and we say that over and over again. If you saw the technician thread, and I should post some of these in there of over and over and over again, but, this truck is missing a tool, or my bag doesn't have this in it, or the notes. When we talk about notes, we say, put this note section in or put this in. We just find ourselves beating our head against the wall.
It's a lot of repetitiveness.
Oh, it's so bad. So bad.
It's definitely the trying to teach the toddler almost sometimes.
And I hate putting it that way, but golly, having a 7-year-old that I am doing the same thing with, and it's just been like, how many times do we have to go over this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if you're not a little detailed about what you're actually wanting, it's probably not going to get done.
mm-hmm. It's that's the big thing. I'll do tomorrow what I could do today, or maybe they'll forget they asked me this and I won't have to do it at all.
Or who's getting in this truck next? Maybe they can take care of it.
Yep. Put it off onto the next guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Yeah, that I could definitely, but it's that going around saying the same thing, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves is having to repeat myself.
There's several times through the week where I'm sending out a message and I'm like, I just sent this. No, delete.
It's copy paste. When you start saying the same stuff, it's copy paste. I've already said this, so let me just reiterate that.
And I found that's more so, as we keep growing.
Yeah.
You got more and more people that, are still learning, and others, that don't come across the situation quite often. So it's just reiterating.
Yeah. I think that's part of it too, is we find ourselves saying it so much, but we have so many technicians that if we say it 15 times and only one hears us each time, then yes, we're going to say it 15 times, and we just feel like it's being just repetitive. But that's when we have our big meetings, big company meetings, that we try to say the thing one time, hoping everybody hears it. And it seems like nobody hears it at that point. I'm just here for the donuts.
Or they hear it for about a week.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of go back into that,
back into the rough waters. Yeah. It's just, we don't learn our lesson. But, that particular segment going in circles and stuff is going to lead me into the next segment with what I call is Mount Dirtmore. I always explained it this way when I was pretty much doing Jerry's job, that when we had everybody in the office, I would typically say, I'm just the dirt piler. So we have this big mound of dirt, and then, as the dirt starts falling on each side, you just go to that side and help pile it up. That's kind of helping where needed, whether it be calibration, service, compliance, inventory, whatever it may be. And so we are just kind of finding our way around there. And Jerry's more so took that role on. And I think I see him sweat during the day trying to chase that dirt hill.
I'm lucky to get a couple of things accomplished that I wanted to accomplish throughout the day from helping everybody. But, comes with it. It's a team effort. So it can get very hectic at times. Understand it. So just try to do what I can when I can.
Yeah. And you have somebody sitting back saying, I need to do this, instead of saying, hey, will you do this? That's my biggest thing, is it's your job. And if you delegate it, that's fine, but make sure it gets followed through on.
Still understand it falls on you getting done. So if I ask you if it's done, don't tell me, Bob did it. And did it get done?
And we have the mentality of, I gave it to somebody, so it's not my job no more. And that gets frustrating. It has to be, it's still your job. You just delegate it out, and it's still your job to follow up on. Mm-hmm. And so go back to the statement carousel. I find myself saying that a lot, because it's, I asked so-and-so to do that, and I'm like, but did it get done? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, that's your job. And we have to, reiterate that over and over again. And so that gets pretty frustrating from the standpoint. It's crazy the amount of stuff that you and I have to do in the office that we feel like, or I feel like, we're delegating out, and it should have been, I'm just asking you to do your job.
Right. Yep. That's true.
So it's like, hey, this is your job. I remembered that it needs to be done. I'm helping you that, and therefore you feel like it's my job and you're not doing it. And so when we do that, it pushes us into a whole nother world where the standard starts shifting, and now it's kind of the frustration happens.
Yeah, that's when you're trying not to give them the dad voice.
Yeah. Damn it, son. What? I'm an employee. Oh, I'm sorry. I forget sometimes.
How many times I got to tell you?
Yeah, it's hard not to. I find myself in the frustration mode. I feel like I'm talking down to people, and I'm like, oh, they're still here trying, and they're still grown men. Don't talk to them like that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm usually sitting back, thinking probably could have handled that a little different. But again, you're juggling 5 different positions and 20 texts and 800 questions a day.
Yeah. And then you're asking yourself, well, which part could I have juggled different?
Right.
What part did I cross the line?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's one of those things, somebody come up to you and be like, hey, why'd you say that? And you're like, oh shit, what? Which part? To who?
What I meant to say was.
But yeah, just staying around the dirt pile itself, when you think of it that way.
You're just trying to keep it manageable.
Yep. And it's I think of a kid playing in the dirt pile, and he's moving his way out, and you're piling up. And what we don't want to do is we don't want the hill to go down and then mound up on another side. So you're just piling up a whole new mound. And so it's a very delicate, strategic thing that you're doing to make sure that it does not just stay within, but actually mounds back up and funnels to the top.
Yeah, everything's got to be strategic.
Yep.
As much as possible.
And keeping a good procedure and protocol, which I talk about a lot, of how it should look in a perfect world.
Yeah, I mean, usually if you're just sticking around what everybody expects and the protocols you put in place, it's a lot easier to keep that mound. But once you stray, that's when you start getting the little mounds outside the mound, and now you're playing cleanup.
Yep. Know your role. That's the easiest way to put it, is know your role, know your duties, and take pride in it. And if you take pride in it, then it works itself out. And I guess that's the biggest thing I can appreciate from you, is just the pride you've taken in this position.
You know, I have a lot of people counting on us, and and I don't want to disappoint.
Yeah. Yep.
So I try to do as much as I can.
That's what I tell everybody in the in our big meetings. I said, if you see me not doing something and you think my job's easy, remember I have to write the paychecks for every single one of y'all in this office. And so, you know, to look back and start doing the math, you can imagine the weekly, monthly, or annual amount in the salary. That's a big load. If we don't make that, it's kind of embarrassing. Right. And you know, I've not been there where we couldn't make salary, but I've been close where we had like $17 in the bank after salary. And I'm like, Friday can hold off for a while. Well,
I unfortunately have been on the other side of that. So yeah, you've done a great job making sure that everything runs as smooth as it has.
Going weeks without paychecks, that's the company I didn't want. And coming away from that, that's, and I say weeks, there's been a month.
I went almost 2 months.
Oh man. And that's hard to do. That's government stuff. That's stuff where you're going that time without, but still required to work.
Mm-hmm. And the bills still keep coming in. They don't stop.
Yep. And so it's like, we'll reimburse you, but I'm like, but what about these bills?
Yeah. Let me tell my landlord that.
Yeah. I'll reimburse you. Oh, I talked about Wimpy from Popeye. I'll be glad to pay you Tuesday for the burgers. Give me one a day. That is the worst. Oh,
thankfully, when I went through those hard times where I was living, they were understandable. So it wasn't like I ever got kicked out on the street or nothing. It all worked out. But yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. Well, it pushes you away from what you don't want to be.
Makes you appreciate when things are going smooth, and you understand what it's like on the other end of that. So just try to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yep. And I guess that is where my frustration comes in when I'm talking to all the guys, is they've never been in that boat. Every Friday they look at their check and it hits their bank account and stuff. They've never been on the side where, what if it doesn't go through and what am I doing? Sometimes the checks won't hit the day that it's supposed to, and it's one day later, just according to how banks are and how they let the checks go through, and they go in a panic mode right there. Hey, where's my check? And I'm like, well, payday's Monday, so if it didn't go by Monday, then come talk to me.
You got it early?
Yep.
Lucky you.
And never hear back from them. So It's been there. Leading from the management madness, we talked about the statement carousel, the Mount Dirtmore, and all the stuff in between that we just talked about. The final part of this segment is called "Where's the Payoff?" It's sometimes rewarding and sometimes not. Sometimes it feels like you're doing more than it's worth, and then sometimes when you sit back and you look at the giant castle that you built, you can actually appreciate it and feel that way. So the where's the payoff is a question for you. I want to know both sides of that. Where's the side that you're looking back? You have the masterpiece, and I'll hold my hand out here, show it. But you have this masterpiece that you can look at and appreciate and be like, man, look what all this hard work's done. And then the other side of that is you feel like it's just going down the drain. You don't feel accomplished. You don't feel like it's done anything, and it's just been tons and tons of stress.
I don't think I've ever felt like we haven't done anything. I would say on that end of the spectrum, it's more and more of just the stress level, just making sure everybody's prepared. And when people aren't prepared, and like guys go out without keys or
and the guy driving 10, 12 hours to a vehicle to show up and say, oh, The truck that was left out here that me and so were driving to, we didn't grab the keys to this truck. Mm-hmm. So we're like, all right, sit tight. We'll overnight the keys to you. And
and at that point, you're wondering, who am I mad at?
Yes.
Is it myself because I didn't make sure this person didn't do it?
How did that fall
mad at the
through so
person
many
that should
cracks?
have made sure it gotten done. So,
yep. From the guy that's driving, knowing he needs the keys, to the guys who are sending them out, who should have gave him the keys, to us saying, our statement carousel is going to jump into place here. Do you have your keys?
And by the way, now I got to call these 10 customers and let them know we're delayed.
Yeah. That's the roughest part. And I guess that's what the people, the technicians of the companies don't realize. Your customers are relying on you. You're not just out of job doing work. You've got customers relying on you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. There a lot of cases they're needing it done yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why aren't you here?
And if they don't get it done from you, they'll call somebody else. Then you lose that job. And now we get to a point on, do we even need you here?
Nah, that's usually when I'm calling.
You're sugarcoating, or you're buttering them up.
Yeah.
Listen, baby, I'll cut you a deal. Don't leave us.
I'm sorry.
But this is going to resort back to that carousel over and over and over again, because it's things that we talk about, we reiterate just the importance of everything we do, and communication is a huge one. You know, I don't even talk about communication now. I put the word over in front of it, and it's, if we're not over communicating, we're not doing our job.
That's it. Yep, that's true. There's some times where they over communicate and they're like, "Oh, stop!" And then at the end of the day, you're like, "Well, as annoying as that is, I'd much rather have that than somebody not talking to me at all."
Yep.
And now this slipped through the crack, and this person doesn't know what's going on here, and why is this customer calling me? And I would much have that problem of over communicating.
And that's what I realized about business. Owning a company, running a company, doing everything to be successful is you take something and it's extreme. And it's not just within your procedures in the business, but it also goes to the stuff that you do. I go and buy a cell phone and it's X amount of dollars a month. I say it's for a company and they're like, "Oh, you didn't say that." And now the price just jumped 30%. Insurance, health insurance, vehicle insurance, all that. "Oh, it's for a business." Boom, jumps that much. It goes to the same thing with the procedures and protocol. And that's when I talk about, listen, we have to be leaders. We have to be communicative. We have to be, just all this list, responsible. When you talk about that and you say it's for a business, again, off the charts. You have to be over responsible, over communicative. You have to be an extreme leader for it to all work. And that's really the only way.
Yeah. Like you said, I think you mentioned it was take pride in your work.
Yeah.
Be prideful in what you do.
Yep. So when we talk about being successful in a business, it's not that one person can do it. It's really just somebody that can understand that if I'm going to commit to this, then I need to be the extreme of everything that I think this is. Being extreme on it is going to make a difference no matter what it is. So when you say, "I'm going to do this job," start describing what it takes to do that job and start putting extreme words to it. And it'll tell you exactly the person you need to be in order to be successful.
How detailed are you going to be about getting it done? What is your goal? Make some goals.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about taking notes. I mean, be extreme.
Understand where your flaws are and try to put things in place to help those flaws. Like for me, I got to take notes. Yeah. I got sticky notes.
and you're good at that. You're good at you're good at documenting everything. And that alone is, again, writing down, "I had a flat tire." No, he's writing tire size. He's writing.
I don't rely on my memory.
Yeah. What was the tire? What brand? All the things. And it comes into play because he ends up calling. What we try to do is jump ahead of any of these, a truck breaking down or a tire flat. We end up calling ahead and trying to tell the mechanic or whatever, "Our truck's about to come to you, get repaired." And they're like, "Well, what is this?" Boom, got it. Got the VIN number, got the tires, got the motor size, the type of truck, the model, the make, the color. You have all that stuff ready, and that's being extreme on the questions that are coming.
Yeah, and I even like spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Gotten familiar with spreadsheets since doing this.
Teaching Excel I learned Excel. I'm self-taught on Excel, so I don't know it all, but I know what I need. It's the master of all trades kind of thing. You can kind of do a little bit of each part of it, but there's a lot that I don't know about it. And so
I've definitely added work to myself with the spreadsheets, but they come in handy.
Yeah. It gives you a lot of reference material.
Yeah. Especially when it comes with the trucks.
Good.
I could tell you when it had the oil change and that transmission replaced.
Yes. If it's still under warranty.
Well, that happened spend 30 minutes going through files.
Yep. That makes it so much easier. So that is a good form of documentation, but also it helps you in your job duties. We're going to go ahead and jump in segment 2. This one is just called wrecked. It's just one word, wrecked. We've touched base on this with a couple other episodes, but some of the wrecks we talked about, you were particularly involved in, and there's 3 major ones that I want to talk about and get your standpoint on them.
All right.
So the first one we talked about, or just kind of went over it and said I would bring it up when you come in here, and this one's called Roofing Truck Rodeo. I would like to essentially tell what happened, but I'll let you start off.
Yeah, so me and your dad were driving from, I believe it was Houston to San Antonio. The speed limit is about 85, and there was this tow truck in front of us hauling a truck. And in the back of this truck he was hauling was just full of stuff, and I noticed a piece of plywood that was just had one strap holding it down. And we're driving behind it. Next thing I know, that thing just disappears in the air.
Just flew up like Twister.
Just
like the movie Twister, just off.
We're both looking like, did you see that? And about that time, it came right through the windshield in front of me. The corner of it was probably about, a foot from my face in the windshield. Wind and glasses all in my face.
And you're driving, so it's in the driver's seat.
I am driving, yes.
So my dad's in the passenger seat with this giant, shocked face.
I don't remember how we got the guy to stop, but we ended up getting the guy to stop, and we talked to him about it, and luckily he was able to get with his boss, and they came out and replaced it the next day. But yeah.
Well, hold on, they didn't just replace it the next day. They had to go to where we were.
Yes, they had to drive to us.
Yep. So y'all drove the next hour?
Yes, true. Yeah.
With the giant hole.
I had a hole
in your
with
windshield.
little pieces of glass blowing in my face while I'm driving, trying to get to San Antonio.
Our next town where our job was.
So we found a hotel, and the next morning they showed up. But that was a long drive, and I think my butthole went.
It was just scary. I mean, you're just looking around because you don't know what, and all of a sudden it comes flying through the window.
And it was a full sheet of plywood.
Man.
It wasn't like just a little piece. It was a full sheet.
Yeah, I would imagine that when you have these incidences that stick with you, and that's one of them. I wasn't even there, and when you think back of how easy something can happen.
Well, that definitely gave us something to talk about the rest of the week.
I mean, and years later.
Yeah, me and your dad had plenty of conversations about that.
I mean, the things that could have happened.
Oh, yeah. Your life flashes before your eye a little bit.
I mean, you look at it, you go cross-eyed looking at the corner of a piece of plywood.
I mean, we had to stop and pull it out of the windshield.
Godly. Yeah.
It was still sticking in the windshield going the speed limit was 85.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were going at least 85.
And now your window's all caved in, and oh yeah, that's brutal.
I shoof took a picture of it.
I think I have one if I dig enough. That was way back then, but I think it's probably my cloud somewhere, just of all of those, because y'all had sent me pictures because I had to send it to the insurance and whatnot, and then they end up, I guess they got the tow truck driver and he paid for it. I mean, it all worked itself out.
Yeah.
Very very easily could have went the other way with somebody hurt or the tow truck driver leaving or whatever. But yeah, that one definitely could have.
Yeah, I definitely looked out. Thinking back, it probably could have went through that windshield completely going that fast. Because like I said, it just disappeared in the air. Like, where did it go? We're looking behind us, and then
and so you test your luck there, and then you and Steven are driving down the highway.
Oh yeah.
And Steven's in the passenger seat, and I call this segment the highway T-bone. So you're driving, and if anybody didn't catch this from Steven's episode.
Yeah, so we're in the far left lane, and well, not the far left, the furthest left is getting onto the express lane. And we're right as we're getting to that exit, I just happen to see out of the corner of my eye this car coming at us, and I'm not even sure what I said. I just started bracing for it because I knew what was happening.
So you're watching in the corner of your eye this car flying.
And as I turn to actually look at the car, she's already made impact, and she hits us, and we're actually going sideways down the freeway. And as I'm looking at her, behind her, I see an 18-wheeler coming at us, and I'm like, "Yep, this is it.
This is the way it's going to end. This is how it's going to end."
She hit us so hard, she bounced off, and we're still going sideways, and she ended up going to clear the other side where she originally came from and hit that guardrail and stopped. Thankfully, the 18-wheeler went around us. But I immediately hop out. I'm hot. And I probably said some choice words. As I hop out, I see her get out of the car, and then she kind of looked over, and then she just fell over.
That's what I said.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't know.
I don't mean to laugh about that.
I don't. Well,
But
I told Steven, I said, I don't know if you stopped because she was a younger girl, or if she was unconscious.
well, at that point, I'm asking Steve, "Are you all right? You're all right?" And I see other people had stopped and
Yeah.
they're giving her attention, and we're on clear on the other side. I'm not running across the freeway. There's
Yeah.
people there helping. Cops and stuff got there. It didn't take them long to get there.
Yeah.
To come to find out, she was an Uber driver.
Yeah.
And this guy was trying to get to I think it's job or airport.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, but anyway,
It was both.
She decided she wanted to take that express.
Yeah.
And he got out and had to wait for another Uber.
At the last minute. So she took a left-hand turn on the freeway. Mm-hmm. So if we've learned a lesson from this is
Full 90-degree turn. Just
if you have to use your blinker to turn, you probably not should be doing that on the freeway.
just one lane at a time, please.
I don't know how she didn't get hit. I mean,
I don't either.
Actually, one time, me and my dad were driving when we were doing a plumbing job. We were coming down the freeway, and this guy, everybody's seen it. You see him in your rearview mirror flying through traffic, coming up, gets past us, flies past us, and gets way up there. And it's, bumper to bumper. I mean, it was crazy. It was still moving, 60, 70 miles an hour, but it was traffic flow. Mm-hmm. And we saw this guy turn sideways and head towards, and of course, the freeway's going this way, and there's a concrete barrier in the middle, so it's not like there was grass in there. And he flies across, and we kind of lose him in the cars going across, and disappears. It's like, is this a ghost car? What happened? All of a sudden, he comes flying out the other side, missing all these cars, went down the grass, got on the shoulder, and then took off. And all this happened so fast. But how he went across 3 or 4 lanes, didn't hit the concrete, went back across 3 or 4 lanes, didn't get hit at all, and then was on the shoulder, and then took off again. And we got about a mile down the road, and there's an exit with this known Whataburger. And he's pulled down there, sitting outside on the hood of his car with his hands in his lap, probably wanting to change his pants. I'm not sure.
I
but
imagine he was.
You see stuff like that is just mind blowing. Like how you can go across traffic and not get hit and dodge everything.
Just lucked out.
Yeah. So it blows my mind to see that. And thank God we haven't really been a part of any of those and stuff, or hadn't got overly hurt, because that particular truck, at the time we had 2 trucks, and that was one of them. The day before, one of them got in a 5-car pileup. And with Steven's episode, we were talking about kind of being uphill with in the creek, up the creek with no paddle. Yes.
Yeah.
One of those things. We were one of those things. I don't know, but probably all of them. That's why it's such a cluster. But yeah, so we had no trucks, and then we had to improvise and figure it out. So
yeah, I think we rented a truck, and we strapped the
2 of them. We had to rent 2 trucks, and one was almost totaled. The other one just took a while
we
to
used
get
tow
fixed.
straps to keep the equipment in the back.
Yep. But improvising and all that. So I only say that because every time we talk about one of these wrecks, it's one of those things that, what do you do now when you're down a truck? So we talked about roofing truck rodeo, highway T-bone. The third one is my favorite story. It could have been so bad, but it turned out to be okay. But just hearing it, this one's called the Drainage Ditch Detour. I had so many names for it, but without going through all the names, we'll just tell the story, and you can come up with your own title for this one.
Yeah, so it was probably like 7:00 in the morning. It was hadn't rained or nothing, but the grass was dewy. It's early in the morning, and I had just gone through a construction zone. And as soon as I get through it, I guess I got drowsy. I kind of nod off, and I wake up, and I'm already kind of halfway off the road. It's a 2-lane road. So I didn't want to jerk it up on the lane because there's oncoming traffic, risk going head on with somebody.
And your truck's already kind of tilting because you're going down that ditch.
So I haven't even hit the ditch yet. This is just the side of the road, and it goes in the grass. And I'm probably 100, 200 yards from where the actual starts doing the ditch thing. Yeah. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Hey, this grass is dewy. I ain't gonna be able to stop. It was like hitting the brake on ice.
And you just slid right through it.
I applied the brake, and I was like, I'm just going for the ride now.
Yep. And our trucks have 1,400 pounds in the back of it constantly. So it's, it's trying to stop, and it's just, if you were, it would just push your truck for a while.
And this was a 2,500, so it's a bigger
bigger trucks
than what we drive now. So I've got tons of weight, and I'm just sliding, and I'm like, oh man, there's a drainage ditch. I hit that, and I just remember going blip, blip, blip.
Airborne. Just
Thankfully, I had my seatbelt on.
imagine looking at it from a video game standpoint, and the truck's going off into the ditch, going down and hits this culvert and ramps up. And so now he's airborne.
Yep, I'm airborne. Thankfully, I had my seatbelt on. I remember my hands hitting the roofs. I bruised my hands up pretty good.
Yeah.
Thought I broke them, but thankfully I didn't, because I just broke one and it just healed.
Just got out of a cast.
Yeah. And so I go airborne, I land, and then I smack a tree. Mm-hmm. I get out, and I really haven't paid attention to what's going on. I'm just kind of like a little bit in shock. You know, people coming to aid or whatnot. I really didn't realize.
You weren't a little bit in shock. You were a lot in shock. And I'll tell you how I know that here in a second.
I didn't realize how much damage I did until after I saw the pictures
Yeah.
of how the truck was and everything. And I don't even remember taking the pictures.
Yeah.
I'm the one that took, that took the pictures.
So he airborne, he comes down and hits this tree, and it cuts through the radiator, the control arm, all the way up to the firewall of the truck, pretty much like butter. I mean, just slices through it.
Well, I think it was pretty much the tree that, the tree I hit the bumper head on, and it concaved it in, and I think it probably pushed the engine and stuff, because it hadn't come all the way through, but you can tell it had pushed everything towards the cab.
It just destroyed the front end of that truck. And then, of course, the truck hits and then falls. Well, the equipment that's in the back of it, it comes airborne with it and lands on, it's an extended cab truck. So if you have the cab and then you have the back seat that's, maybe 2 foot, it just crushes the back seat all the way down to pretty much the headrest.
Yeah, it had a little indention, like a little V where it came in, where the 60-gallon improver smacked the cab.
And then after it hit and landed upside down.
Yeah, bounced out of the back of the truck and landed upside down. And those things are tough, because it didn't do anything to it.
It didn't do nothing to that equipment. Stainless steel. That was a plug for this company, for just how they built this equipment. But he calls me, and he is zombified. Hey,
I think at this point I had my first ambulance ride.
Yeah.
And I was at the hospital.
Yeah. And so I am talking to him, and he's very low key, very quiet, one word answers, but he's the one conversating with me. So it was hard to know what's going on. And somebody had walked up, and I said, give them the phone. And that's when they kind of told me the story.
Where I was at.
Yep. Yep. And said everybody was okay and stuff. He was just kind of out of it. And so they, I guess, checked out your head and stuff. But I'm assuming he had grabbed the steering wheel at one point and jammed, because it was one wrist, right?
Well, I'd bruised these hands, and I think I had jammed my wrist.
And it was like a giant ball on it.
Yeah, I think this one I was holding on the steering wheel, and this one just came up and it hit the roof.
And so after getting out of that cast, we thought he re-broke his wrist. Mm-hmm. It was a huge ball and stuff. And so this is about 2 hours from us where you were at.
It was about 2 hours.
So he calls.
Out in East Texas.
I immediately jump in my truck, and I'm heading that way. I go out there, get to the hospital, pick you up. And surprisingly, they were waiting on the results from the x-ray. Mm-hmm. So I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's for sure broke. Like it's bad.
Yeah, they just said it was bruised and sprained.
The doctor comes in and said it's not broke. And I think both of our jaws dropped. It's like, how is that not broke? And can we get a second opinion?
I'm alive and nothing broke.
But yeah, we went back out there, I think a couple days or a week later, to get stuff out of the truck, meet the insurance adjuster out there. And man, to see some of the damage that happens to these trucks and not have the injuries that should is crazy.
Yeah, I've been blessed, and so have some of the guys who've had that unfortunate.
Yeah,
I know Hunter had one.
Yeah, yep. Hunter actually went off the road and hit. I don't know if you've ever driven down the road. There's like poles with the metal cables. And I've never known what they're for until I heard Hunter's story. He went right over them, hit those metal poles, and that cable wraps around that axle and drive shaft and everything it can get a hold of, and just stops it in
it
in the
stops
tracks.
you, and it does enough to total it.
Yep. It's not made to salvage the vehicle, that's for sure. We learned that real quick.
I don't think he hit another vehicle. It was just the pole and the cords.
I don't think they could rebuild that vehicle for as much as it cost to just build it all brand new. It was
ripped about just about everything underneath it.
A lot. But we talk about falling asleep driving. We got actually a new system a new camera AI system, GPS tracking that watches down on us. It tracks if they start dozing off or if they even look tired. I think Andrew talked about his head just being back, thinking he was tired and just telling him it's time to pull over, and it's screaming at you. It's telling you.
Yeah. So I've actually been reviewing some of these videos lately as I get familiar with this system, and I think Philip.
Is he dozing off?
He doesn't doze off. It's just how he drives.
Yeah, his eyes.
His eyes are just.
He's got that Oriental look.
But he's asleep because he's sitting there singing to himself.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not asleep because he's singing to himself.
But he is one that did fall asleep on driving.
Yes, he did.
And so I go back to Andrew's episode. He talked about me not helping him very much in Arkansas. One of the reasons was I was on the phone. We were dealing with the wreck, and Philip actually had fell asleep and just kind of veered off the freeway. And then just kind of kept going and hit a speed limit sign or something.
Yeah, it was a sign.
Right in the middle of the truck. Boom. And it's all on camera. You can see, explode. Wasn't a lot of damage.
No, it's just cosmetic.
Yep. And he didn't get hurt. But
when that happens, it's enough to freak you out.
Yep. And I think Mikey, was in cruise control and fell asleep and just, right. I mean, not even braking or anything.
I don't know if you remember, but there was a time me and you back when... we were hauling a trailer and somehow we managed to go. Thankfully, nobody was working, but it was a construction zone. And you happened to go through these barriers.
Yep.
And I think
we were both sleeping.
I think what woke you up was we touched one of them.
Yes. on the path. So
how did
we're
we
on
get
the
through
freeway
that?
And you got all the barrels and then you're on the construction side. And the barrel hit the passenger side. So somehow I went through all the barrels without hitting any of them. And I was just about to clip that last one. Luckily I did because that's what woke me up. But I hit the passenger side and it woke me up. And I was looking up and I see all the construction in front of us. And I'm trying to get back over without just tearing through these barrels.
I think we both kind of woke up and looked at each other. What just happened? Who's driving?
Get over. You're driving. And so I'm like trying to pass the barrels and go back through them. And I don't remember if we hit anymore, but that was the work truck, and it was one of our only trucks. And we were actually working for a company, and he was not happy. I had to buy a headlight for that truck. Yeah. That's all I did, really.
And at that time, we were pulling a trailer, so
yes,
that didn't help any, which made it even more miraculous that we didn't do any real damage.
Yeah. I don't tell my stories because I always blame the guys. I'm like, what are y'all doing? This never happens to me. But
it happened.
All right, so that's segment 2, wrecked. That's a pretty good segment. We're going to go ahead into segment 3. This is over the vendors. I call this vendor vendetta. Every company has its sales positions, so I don't fault our vendors for having their sales position. Sometimes I forget that when they're trying to sell us something, it goes from sales and then passes to a team. So whether we like the salesperson or not, it's going away from them. And I always find it that I like the salesperson, and that's the last time I talked to him, and now I'm stuck with the team, and you've already signed the contract and stuff. But prior to all that, the first segment of this is the 1 millionth call. These vendors, and I've never had this tactic in sales, to hound and hound and hound. Following up once every 2 to 3 months or whatever is not a big deal, but calling daily,
3 or
hourly,
4 times a week.
Oh my God. And so I want to first get, how do you handle that? Because you can't really ignore the phone call. It's going to sit there and ring. And if you do ignore it and it goes to voicemail, they just hang up and call right back. I told one guy, I said, man, you're worse than a jealous girlfriend. Just call in. I will tell you if I'm ready or if I need you or whatever. But it just gets overwhelming.
It's almost to that, don't call me, I'll call you.
Yes. Yeah. I will not use a company strictly with their sales tactics.
I had one of those recently a couple of weeks ago. And they were calling literally every day. Send us their information and say, okay, I got it. Let me review it. And a day later, calling same pitch. Like, I'm running a business here. I haven't had time to actually look into this. Give me time. I'll call you, give them a time frame. And they call back the next day. And you're like, you know what? Actually, I'm not even interested. I'll look somewhere else.
Yep. I didn't even think about using this service, whatever you're doing, but I'll find your competitor and go and use them since they're not blowing me up. But yeah, that 1 millionth call, it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. And there's been many times where I'm like, okay, just tell them we're not interested anymore and we'll just move on. We'll go ahead and go to the next one. Sales strategies that don't work. This could be something that we do and something that somebody does to us. I'm curious on what you do because I have one in here that I'd like to say.
Strategies that I use
that don't work.
That don't work.
Yeah.
Because
we have the brochures.
You get so many no's, you feel like nothing works.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to when we started this. When I started this company, I have no problem walking into a store, because we're a mandatory service. We're something that the state, federal laws that it's required. And so I don't feel guilty at all going in saying, this is what you need, this is what we do, and this is what we do it for. And some people will be interested and some people will say no. But I don't feel guilty doing that until I have to call them 6 or 7 times. And when I start feeling that way, I kind of leave it alone. But I do come in it with authority to say, listen, you need this. I have confidence that you're going to get the best service from us. And if you want to use this, we'll do it. If not, this will be the last time you hear from me. But do me a favor and just keep my information. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell them it's not a no, but it's a no for now, or I'll talk to you later.
A lot of the no's end up turning out that way. No, I'm not interested.
Yep.
6 months, year later, you're getting a phone call from them like
3 or 4 years later. We've had some 3 or 4 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, it's planting that seed. That's the biblical part. Reap what you sow, and you start planting those seeds, and they start coming in.
It kind of turns into a yes later a lot of the time.
Yeah. Well, we've been around so long now that we've got a rapport with the majority of gas stations. And if it's not the gas station, it's somebody they've heard or gotten word of mouth from. And they're like, yeah, we know y'all. We know what y'all do. We're not due yet, or we want to hold off. Some of them, they want to do their own research. And so what we tell them, we even give them reference points to say, listen, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, go here. Mm-hmm. We'll text you the website. We'll text you the link. We'll text you, or we'll send you an email.
Yeah, we have a QR code we can send them.
Yep. And so they're able to go validate what we're saying and then say, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Mailers, we throw those away.
Yeah.
We have people that come straight into the office.
Yeah. I mean, we've even tried going out to them directly, and that's very hit and miss.
Yeah.
I almost feel like they'd much rather us call than just show up while they're trying to do sales with customers and take time to talk to us. But at the same time, I think a lot of it's just how you approach it.
Yep.
I think if you go in there and you just drop something up, hey, I know you're busy, but here's information. Give us a call and we can go over this when you have time. I think the less pushy you are, the more luck you have. You're just like you said, just plant the seed. Yep.
Sometimes though, I've gone in with authority. I've gone in with because I know we have the availability to go look at their registration, and it's just like your car or your driver's license. If it's out of registration and you get caught, it's a big issue. So we kind of go in with that.
Yeah, and you can usually just pull up to the site and you immediately know right away just looking at their pumps.
Yep. Saying, hey, you're not registered and you need this service. This is how you get registered, and here's what an application looks like, and here's what we do, and da-da-da. And you don't have to do anything other than here's what our invoice is. Mm-hmm. And then you can say yes or no. So tactics at work may or may not work.
But trying to think of something that doesn't work, because I just feel like most of the time a lot of it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's just persistence, but kind of respectable persistence, I guess.
Understanding, well, we have people doing it to us, so we don't want to do to other people what we know we don't like. Mm-hmm. Well, good. I think the last topic of this, the product we didn't talk about. This one's a very frustrating one when the millionth call comes in, right? They use sales tactics that shouldn't work, but we like the idea of the concept. We like everything that the product should be, and we say yes, we sign the contract. They then give us the product, and it's not the product we talked about. It doesn't have the features they said. It doesn't have the availability it says. It doesn't have everything. So it's
not as easy and streamlined as they make it sound to be.
Yes. So I guess, what can you do to avoid those? What would you advise anybody who, on anything, not necessarily anything that we bought, but how do you be more cautious and what kind of questions you ask to make sure you're getting the right stuff?
Well, I used to read the reviews, but you can't even trust those.
Yeah. Now AI starting filling fake reviews.
Sometimes I feel like they're doing their own reviews.
Yeah. Well, you can buy now as a business. I'm seeing it firsthand that you can go to these platforms and they have teams that do that shoot out reviews and have AI fill out those reviews and give you 5 stars and all that stuff.
I mean, I've pretty much come to the conclusion that probably the most way to do it is let me try it.
Yeah.
I don't want to sign nothing. Give me a month or two to try it. Let me see how your response team is and your customer support, and let's see how user friendly this is. And then before I sign a 3 to 5 year contract, other than that,
the proof is in the pudding.
I really don't know how you'd get around not getting sucked in by the sales guy.
Yeah. 1,000%. And actually, that kind of brings up our payroll platforms, and they did the 1 millionth call. I mean, that was kind of frustrating every day. There, Adam, phone calls for you again. The sales strategies that I didn't like that they were doing, the things that they did. Now they did come into the office a few times, and we did talk about that, and they showed me some stuff, and that kind of probably is what led me to it. But the aggressiveness wasn't there. What led me to it is we already used this company. It was just another platform they offered, but they wanted a 3-year contract or a 2-year contract, and I'm just like, I did not feel comfortable with so many variables that would have changed your price structure. And I would get close and get cold feet. I'd get close and get cold feet. And I think they were filling me every single time. They didn't know who they were going to get when they called.
Yeah, they were wanting that sell.
Yep. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And then they'd call back and they're like, hey, we noticed you didn't sign the papers. I'm like, yeah, I can't make myself do it. And I was like, but I'll go ahead and sign it. And they'll come back.
I will say they were actually listening to you.
Yes.
And they were actually kind of, I don't want to say bending the rules or anything, but they were kind of like going with what you were wanting, hearing what you wanted, and did what they could and to structure around what you were expecting.
Yep. And needless to say, they waived the 2-year contract, gave us, I think, a month free. Did some other attributes you could add to it that didn't cost us any extra. And so,
and I think that came from our experience with previous ones, just kind of like diving in and, learning as we go.
Yep. They needed the sale. We wanted to sign up, but it was just wasn't in the cards until they offered the final piece, and it made it a no-brainer. So, I mean, it all worked out.
Yeah, there's a lot of good platforms out there for businesses. Just got to do your due diligence, and if the ones that are believe in their program, I think they're more willing to do stuff like that to make sure you're getting what you're wanting, and just trying to make sure that what they're selling you is what you're going to get.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Customer service is a huge thing.
So big. Yeah. When somebody's calling, just answering the phone alone, not even offering anything, but just answering the phone.
Not answering the phone and say, oh no, you need to call this guy. Well, do you have a number? Oh no, I don't have that number.
Yep. And being able to be understood when you're on the phone.
Right. You don't feel like you're calling a call center.
Yeah. Oh, and that, you can't understand half the words. So
many times I've hung up and called back.
Yeah, it gets rough sometimes, but we manage it and we move on through there. So I'm just going to touch base on the management madness, kind of what we talked about with owning a company. If you do over what you're supposed to be doing, anything that you can think to do and you do more, sets up for success. Driving, be safe.
Yes.
Be aware.
Get plenty of rest.
Yeah. Don't follow too close behind.
Push it, but don't push it too hard.
You see something rattle in a truck, back up a little bit. Maybe give them an extra foot.
Yeah. If you see anybody towing anything, just get in a different lane.
And then, of course, with vendors and stuff, the biggest piece of advice is see if you can get some time frame free. See if they'll offer it and let you play around with it.
Let them give you a little trial.
If it's a good program and they believe in it, they're going to do it. They're not gonna want you to tie into it before you even try it. So, okay, you got anything else?
No.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Again, Jerry, the office manager, vice president of MCS Petroleum. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at podcast@mcspetroleum.com. My name's Adam Thompson. This is Fuelish Behavior.